Welcome to Youthology Live. You are joining us on all kinds of formats, either here on Facebook Live or at our website at youthology.com. And all of these videos are posted there, and the manuscript is posted there. Or maybe you're following us at YouTube, okay? And then finally, the other format is our iTunes podcast. So you can join us in either one of those platforms. And let's begin tonight with episode 31 for Youthology Live and 12 minutes of learning. So you know that I do a resource each week, and I want to give you this resource from Barna, okay? From Barna. It's called Barna Trends, okay, 2018. It is the latest in a graphic study, a sociological study that will help you with all of your research for the millennial and the Gen Z set, okay? This is not just a youth ministry book. If you remember, a few weeks ago, we talked about the Impact 360 study that Barna did, and that is geared specifically toward Gen Z, okay? So this one is a little broader, and it deals with inside the minds of teenagers, but for the entire church, okay, not just youth ministry. But you'll see why I want to go to this, because today we are talking about new ideas in youth ministry. So I had a conversation just recently in New Jersey with a youth pastor who came up to me and said, "Man, I'm getting stuck doing the same old thing. How do I break out of this rut? How do I try something new?" Right? There's this old everything that I'm doing. It seems like I'm back to default. This is what I always do, and I need to be shaken up a little bit. Okay, so I was putting together some things for the next day when I was going to see this young man, and I thought, okay, this has got to be a post. So we've got a blog on this. This is going to be one of our next videos in our 12 minutes of learning. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is give you 10 new ideas or 10 creative ideas to jumpstart the youth ministry, okay? So I think you're going to have a blast with it. This is going to be fun, but I got to go quick because I can only spend about a minute on each one. So that's what we're going to do. Because sometimes we all get stuck, right? We all go back to default because we're busy, or maybe we don't have the right people around us, and we're stuck with our own ideas and our own our own mind, and we start to work in the familiar. We're very comfortable with the familiar, aren't we? And so I want to shake you up a little bit and give you some things to try, just some new things, okay? You'll notice that some of these really aren't that new. They're just maybe new to you, okay? So let's get there. It's been proven in research. Listen, this is the reason why I want to do this. It has been proven in research that children tend to grow out of their creativity. That all of us are born by our Creator, where all of us are born with this element of creativity in us. And yet through the educational process, which many of you know that I'm in that. I've been a university professor for more than 10 years, and I do a lot of teaching with youthology and coaching settings. And it's so true that oftentimes, the more educated we get, the less ideas we have, okay, when it comes to creativity. So one of the studies I want you to look at is a study that was on the TED Talks by Stuart Brown, and it's called Play Deprivation, okay? Again, don't have a lot of time to cover that now, but I want you to look that up. I'll put a link in our on the website, and you'll be able to follow that. The Stuart Brown Play Deprivation. Okay, 10 ways, 10 new ideas, 10 ways to jumpstart the youth ministry. Okay, number one, collaboration. Collaboration. This is what I mean by this. There is a university of experience around you. So if you will get other people involved on a creative team, to help you get outside of your ideas and your thoughts. You have a university of education of people around you that see differently, that have a different background, who have come from a different place than you have, okay? So collaboration, I like to call it, this is a popular term, but I like to use this term, group think. Group think. When you're stuck, you've got to bring other people to get involved. Number 2, visitation. I love this because this is something I think is going to be new to a lot of people. You need to visit other youth ministries that are doing great. Because if you're always looking at your youth ministry and the ceilings and the lids and the fences that are set up in your property, then that's the view you're going to have. But if you can go visit somebody else who's doing things, another way, and maybe it doesn't even have to be a church that's exactly the same size. Or if you're in an urban setting, visiting an urban setting. Maybe if you're in an urban setting, you need to visit a suburban setting and get an idea, right? So get an idea outside of your frame of reference. See what I mean by that? So the visitation is changing your frame of reference. 3, creative ideas, new ideas. Get outdoors. You as an individual need to stop, listen, stop thinking in your office, or if you're a volunteer, stop thinking at home in the same place all the time. Change your setting, because that's oftentimes where ideas come. I used to love, when I was a youth pastor, I used to love walking at night. Now, I'm a late nighter, okay? I'm not an early morning dude. And I would love to walk at night. And I would walk outside in our neighborhood, and I'm sure oftentimes our neighbors thought, okay, who's out there? And what I would do is just take the ceiling off and the lids off and the fences off. And when I get out there, it puts me in a different frame of mind so that I'm able to think. And what I would do is write things down. I want to tell you, bring your phone with you, okay? When I did this, I didn't have a phone, okay, that went with me. We had landlines and the cord wasn't long enough, so anyway. So now, bring your phone with you and record your thoughts. Send a voicemail to yourself. Put it on record, right? So getting outdoors expands your thinking, and you're in a listen, creation is creative. Creation is creative, so change that setting. Okay, number four, reading. So I want to get really practical with this. This is what I want you to do. I want you to just a few hours a week. I'm going to start with 2, just 2 hours a week. I want you to read outside of the normal reading that you would be reading. So you think of the books, you think of the study, the websites that you research on the internet. I want you to get outside of those. Let me give you a few. Search on YouTube for the ideas and the topics and the things you're looking for. Get on social media and see what other youth ministries are doing. Read on topics and read on series that other youth ministries are doing. That's a great way to do it also. Then visit youth ministry websites and read up on what they're doing. What are the events that they're doing? Okay? That's a great learning experience. See some of the events that these youth ministries are doing that you might be able to duplicate in your setting. Okay? So reading. Books outside of what you're reading, that kind of thing. Okay, 5, transitions. All right, now listen. This is as practical as I can get when it comes to youth ministry services. Okay, services. Whether that's Wednesday night or Friday night or Sunday night. You need to work on your transitions. Here's some ideas. How well do you do flow from one, from the opening of the service into the worship, out of the worship into prayer, or out of prayer into the message, or into announcements, or if you do an offering, all of these things. How do you close? These transitions require bumper videos, okay, monologue, spoken word, a beat. Just create a beat, a playlist. So these transitions require you just doing a little bit of work. Maybe you want to go AV, okay, audio visual, and go YouTube and do videos at the very beginning. Or a worship video coming out of worship or leading into, work on your transitions. And I know what you're thinking too. Man, I don't have the time to do that. There's no way. Well, I know some people who are online who are pretty creative, who would love to get involved with that. They're called students, teenagers. So get students involved in creating transitions, set lists, that kind of thing. Okay, presentation tools. Number 6, presentation tools. If you want to jump start your presentation, whether that's discipleship, hear this, whether that's small group setting, whether that's your messaging and your preaching or your teaching, leadership training, all of those settings, you need good presentation tools. I want to say this, be careful of always falling into the PowerPoint tool, because, and I understand any tool can become mundane, predictable, non-mysterious. What you need to learn to do is to jumpstart your media. I want to give you one. Many of you have asked me about the tool that I use in my coaching sessions, and it's called Prezi. Again, I'll post that in the manuscript. You'll be able to go there and get it. But if you just Google the Prezi, P-R-E-Z-I, the Prezi app, you can get the viewer on your phone. It's a free thing. You could also do the subscription. I do the subscription, so there's other things that come with it. But that's a zooming graphic. Listen, a zooming graphic that also functions as a file saver. I have all of my teachings, 10 years of teaching in the university, on the mats that are my Prezi app. This is a great idea for those of you that maybe are not as organized. And so all my sermons are on there, all of that. And it comes alive. You can put video on it also. You can share, if you've seen in my coaching sessions, you can share the Prezi presentation with everyone outside of the setting. While you are speaking in a youth group, kids aren't there that maybe couldn't be there for whatever activities they're involved in, or they're not feeling well, or whatever. They can follow along with Prezi because it's online, and they can see what's going on too. Okay, number 7, idea, creative idea, pre-event. So I want to touch on this whole thing about balance in youth ministry of play and pray. Okay, just 2 simple words to help you remember it. Play and pray. And what I mean by that is the spiritual and the natural. Just to separate them. And I know if you want to get theological with me, we don't really separate them, but I think you hear what I'm saying. The balance in the youth service. Can we, in 90 minutes, cover both pray and play? I'm not so sure, because we cheat one of them. If you really want to be relational and go into the play area, you really aren't treating it well if you're only giving it 15 minutes with a poor game that's not organized and exciting and whatever. Nor can you really do prayer, the spiritual part of it, the pray part of it, the preaching and the worship and all that, because we're dipping in and out of that to relate to the kids and to become, creative and etc. So here's an idea to bring more of the pray balance on Wednesday night, Friday night, Sunday night, whenever you meet, by doing pre-event. So build into your youth service setting, that environment, 1 hour before. Because there are students who are looking for that. They're looking for relationship. They're looking for games. They're looking for food. They're looking to connect. So if you could do a pre-event, I've talked to youth pastors who do this all the time. And they get out as much energy with those kids, right? And they meet in the gym, so it's easy to do that. And they have gaming consoles and whatever. And you're getting as much energy out. You're walking around. The leaders are walking around. They're getting to know the students. But then in that hour to 75 minutes that we have in that service setting, depending on how much time you have, maybe it's 90 minutes. Now we can get down to and focus on building disciples in His presence, etc. So anyway, pre-event. So what I'm asking for is this idea of a composite night. A composite night. But not in 90 minutes. Extend it longer so you can do both. Okay? I think you'll see where I'm going, and I'll get more done on that. Okay, number 8. Youth ministries need more neutral-site connects. Neutral-site connects. What I really mean by that is this idea that I see in many of the inner city churches that don't have their own facilities, in the urban center, it's what they call pop-ups, okay? And I know of several who do this so well, and it's off-site, okay? Because I think oftentimes we have trained or conditioned our students to serve God at church but not at school, to serve God at church but not at home, to serve God at church but not on the team or at work or in the park or at the mall. And so these neutral site connects, this idea, once a month. Listen, just moving into the outside of the church in some setting called a pop-up, okay? So you know what to do with those. These are creative, low-cost things to do outside of the church, okay? Pop-ups or connects, neutral site stuff. Okay, number 9, monthly student event. Okay, I want to push this, and I know it's scary. This is scary. I know what you're thinking right now. I mean, I don't have the time. I'm a volunteer. Jeff, do you realize 80% of the church has volunteer leadership? Okay, and when you look at the full-time paid leadership, there's only like 20% of us out here that are full-time, and then it extends to like 60% that when it goes to part-time. But do you know most of the church has volunteer leadership? And I just scared you to do one event a month. But hear me. You have to reinforce culture in the youth ministry. And the best way to reinforce culture is through repetition. So I would suggest this. Don't do an event every week. Do an event once a month. Just a monthly event that's creative. Look, here we go, practical. Here, I threw a few of these out here, okay? Don't judge, okay? Don't judge, because I've seen these work. Because all of these events will work if there's leadership and excitement and organization. So, a car wash. I said that. A service project. A mystery event where you tell the students, hey, show up at 10 a.m., bring $10, we'll be back at 10 p.m., right? And plan the whole day out. How about an all-student, everybody in the youth ministry, athletic or extracurricular event at the school where you say, every one of us are going to the game Friday night, or we're all going to the track meet on Saturday, right? Or we're all going to go on Sunday afternoon to the theater production. So doing regular events outside. One of my favorite things to do is house parties. Just on a random, once a month, just do a house party. It's not small group, it's party time. It's music, playlists, food, hang out, right? So anyway, that's, all right, number 10, and finally, because we gotta go. I know, this is 12 minutes of learning, and I think we're already approaching. We're already at 15 minutes. So anyway, last but not least, you need a personal coach. Let me give you this idea. You know that Youthology is set up, I'm set up as a veteran to do these things. This is our 31st video. I am coaching across America somewhere, okay, every week. So please look up our ministry, go to the tab, the drop-down coaching at youthology.com. All right, seek me out. I've already got many relationships, but I can add more, okay? And I can send you all the details on that. If it's not me, you need to get a regional youth veteran in your area, or your district youth director for your denomination, or what, right? Because if we can sit with somebody that's been where we want to go, it's easier to get there. If you want to do what you've never done, then you have to find somebody who's done it. Okay, so the veterans have to sit with the rookies and all that. Okay, so you know how this goes. Thank you for listening to us. The videos are on YouTube. The manuscript is at youthology.com, and you can listen to it. Okay, you can listen to it at iTunes. All of those are Jeff Grinnell or Youthology. You can search those and you'll find them all. Okay, hey, thank you for joining us. Don't forget that resource, the Barna Statistics 2018. It was released in February. That will help you tremendously. Okay, hey, have a great week. All right, and thank you for joining us for Youthology Live and 12 Minutes of Learning.